cut way up high. Get yourself a lawyer, son. You're gonna need a real good one.
And David Whiting is a Melbourne solicitor. He is here to give you free legal advice. He has been a part of this radio station since the 1980s. He's like a piece of furniture. The rest of us just pass on through. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Raph.
I meant that in the kindest, gentlest possible way.
Yeah. Lots of dust on the piece of furniture in the corner.
Yeah, but, just make sure you invite me to the 40th birthday party, okay? I want to come.
Right, okay.
What was your homework?
Anna from Preston rang. Anna was in a development where someone had constructed 2 units at the back of a house, and the house at the front is in the throes of regeneration, for want of a better word, and it's an absolute mess and a pigsty, or as expressed words to that similar effect by Anna, and she wanted to know what her rights were. So I went away and I've looked at the model rules. Now, if you look at the rules that exist for some of the really large owners corporations in the city, the towers and the rest of it, they have very strict rules about external appearance. The rules in relation to external appearance for small units, those which adopt the model rules, are only in circumstances where you propose to change the external appearance.
So you can't force the neighbours to clean up?
No, your grounds are only if the situation affects your health, safety and security, or there are dangerous structures or dangerous substances on the property. Otherwise, I'm really sorry, Anna, nowhere to go.
Okay, sorry about that. 1300 222 774. Callum is in Pakenham. What's your query, Callum?
Oh, g'day, David. I've got an odd situation that's happened this morning. I bought a set from one of the major online auction sites. I bought a set of 10 large streetlight poles for $1,000, which I thought was good buying, and they were new and they looked very new in the photos. I've gone to the site to pick them up this morning, and the boys there said, "Oh, no, these are the ones you bought, these old rusty ones." And what's happened is between the manager and the auction site, they've taken a photo of the new ones in the left-hand corner and put them online. They were actually meant to take a photo of the ones over in the right-hand corner, which were these old rusty buckets.
So you want to know if you can return the rusty light bulbs. Just one moment, Callum. I just want to give people some breaking news if I can. The incident in Windsor has been peacefully resolved. They have taken the person they were negotiating with to hospital. Police say they were called to Albert Street in Windsor. It actually began at 7:30. There's a man threatening self-harm. Police have arrived. They started negotiating. He has been taken to hospital for assessment. So that has been resolved peacefully, which is wonderful, great news. Significant police presence, but that situation has been resolved. Forgive my interruption, Callum. David, rusty poles, they didn't look rusty on the website. What can you do?
Callum, if they're not the ones that you bid on, you can return them.
I haven't picked them up yet.
Yes.
I decided not to touch them because I wanted to get some advice first. So they're all still at the yard untouched.
Well, Callum, what they offered for sale to you was the ones in the picture.
Yep.
All right. What they intended to sell were the other ones. You certainly are entitled to reject the ones that don't match what you bid for, and then you need to look at their terms and conditions as to who has the right to walk away from a transaction. Now, it may be that you have the right to insist to buy the ones that you bought, or it may be that the terms and condition of the auction site say something different, but you're certainly not required to buy goods you didn't bid for.
Yes, okay. Their offer was, we're happy to give you the old poles and refund your money if that's what you wanted, but really the new ones are sort of what I want. I just don't know if I have any...
Okay. But they've offered a refund.
Yeah, so offer the refund and you can have the poles for nothing. Callum, I understand why that may not work. Look at the terms and conditions on the website. And there were some changes made to the law a couple of weeks ago relating to unfair contracts. And they essentially say it's an unfair contract if the other side's got the right to withdraw in circumstances where you don't. So I'm not suggesting you go there, but see if you can't do a deal.
Good luck, Callum. Thank you. Margaret's in St Andrews Beach. What do you want to mention, Margaret?
Hello. Thank you, David and Rafi, for taking my call. For over 10 years, I have had 3 dogs. And when I first arrived in the suburb, I did attend the council and say, how many dogs am I allowed? And going forward, I've always renewed them in the month of March when the renewal notices come. Ranger attended my property in May and told me that I had too many dogs and that the overlay had changed the year before. However, when I explained that I did receive the renewal notices, she said, that's not my concern. Basically I've been fined. I was allowed a single appeal, and I sent the email, and then a week
Describe, when you say you were allowed an appeal, that means the council did a review, is that right?
Oh, well, they said you're allowed to make one appeal, so I sent an email explaining everything.
Yes, but that was to council, is that right?
Council. Oh, I beg your pardon.
Okay,
Yes.
Right. What I want you to do is dust off the Mornington Shire planning scheme and have a look at clause 65. All right? Either 65 or 63, so I'm embarrassed. I'm not quite 100% sure.
I'm still impressed.
And it relates to existing use rights. How long have you lived there?
Oh, 20 years.
And you've had 3 dogs for 20 years, and you've registered 3 dogs for 20 years?
Yes.
There's a provision in every planning scheme in Victoria, in the common section, that relates to what are called existing use rights. So if you had the right, and there's a couple of scenarios, but one of them is if you've been using something so if you had the right to 3 dogs, they've now taken away the right. You will probably have grandfathered rights.
Wow.
All right?
Yeah.
So you need to look at the planning scheme. 63 or 65 is the clause, certainly in that area in the planning scheme, and see whether that applies to you.
And how does she proceed with that, David?
She goes back. What she does is she would apply. Technically, you apply for a certificate from the council that says that you have these rights.
Wow.
And I would have thought that the fact that I've been paying registration fees for dogs for 20 years would be evidence that I've been doing this for at least 15, and that I was doing it lawfully when you changed the rules.
I'm so impressed that you remember that. I'm very upset.
No, I just finished one.
Oh,
I
you
just finished a dual occupancy argument in a closer in council over and how long we've been using it for.
There you go. Margaret, you're well armed there. We will also follow that one up with Mornington Shire Council as well. I tell you, I sit opposite him. It's still impressive every time. Heather's in Mount Waverley. What's your query, Heather?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, gentlemen. I visited my fish shop last night to buy a piece of grilled fish, which was about $10, and was told because I only had a bank card that I would have to pay $5 extra for the bank card. Is this true?
When you say a bank card, it wasn't a MasterCard or a Visa card?
Yeah, a Visa card.
Okay, all right. So using a credit card.
Yes.
A credit card or a debit card.
Yes.
Technically the answer is yes, they can make you pay a fee. There's an expectation at the ACCC that the fees that they charge fairly represent the cost of providing the service. Now, and I go to places from time to time where they say the fee will be X if the transaction cost is less than X dollars.
Yes.
Right. Now, I don't know what your fish shop's banking arrangements are, but can they charge you a fee for using a credit card? The answer is yes, they can. Perhaps if you got a side of chips with that, you may have been over the floor and you wouldn't have got the charge. I tend to think it's likely to be because of the relatively low value of your transaction.
Yeah.
At $10, they may be paying a minimum charge per transaction, but there's no way known the bank would be charging them $5.
But is it illegal for the shop to charge $5?
It's illegal for them to charge a fee. It needs to be a reasonable fee, right. And the ACCC's expectation is that will reflect the cost of providing the service, and that's normally 1.5%.
Right. Did you pay it, Heather?
Oh, I had to.
Well, they'd already cooked the fish, hadn't they? Right?
Well, yeah, you could walk away. Heather, I think you're on sort of safe ground, being upset, but I'm not sure you can do much about it. Thank you for calling. I think we've all been there. Gabor is in South Caulfield. What's your query?
Hello.
Hi.
Bear with me. I'm just walking my grandson in the park.
Okay.
I'm 73 years old. I have a daughter who's a stepdaughter, and not officially, but she is my stepdaughter. I have known her since she was 4 years old and have been totally involved in everything. And she would like to be adopted. And she raised this with me when she was about 18. And I made some vague inquiries, and I was told, I don't know by whom then, that you cannot adopt an adult.
The general proposition is that you can't adopt an adult, Gabor. I'm happy to have another look in the Adoption Act and see, but the general proposition is that you need to be a child to be adopted.
Okay, that's
right?
it.
And when I say child, I mean of less
Under
than
18.
legal age.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that-
to what
that's it.
end, Gabor? Why does she want to be adopted?
I think she just wants to be my daughter
That connection.
officially.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah, and she's 39 and she's a criminal lawyer. You know, she's into the legal thing.
Right.
But this is not her field.
Sure.
And I just want to, before I say, well, look, I just can't do that, I'd like to make sure.
There you go. We don't think so, but we'll put that down as homework,
Yeah,
David.
take it as homework. Gabor.
Thank you for the
Talk to you
query.
next week.
Good luck walking in the park. John is in Blackburn. John, what's your query?
Hello?
John? Yeah, go for it, John. What's your question?
Sorry. I had a tree fall at my neighbour's property and it also smashed the common fence. They've quoting the Act of God. Under Act of God, is the neighbour liable to fix that my half of the fence, or am I liable?
I'm with you, John. I think it's your neighbour's problem. Your neighbour is your neighbour should be. I suppose if you look at it, the obligation that the neighbour has is to make sure that nothing goes wrong on their property which is going to cause a problem to someone else. Now, why are they entitled to assume that the tree's never going to fall? Should it have been pruned? Was it too long? Was it too tall? Was it too close to the fence? All of those issues. Was it struck by lightning? Or did it just fall over because we got a lot of rain last week?
It fell over during a storm, John.
Yeah, but there were lots of storms. We don't have a John here, unless we're talking about you. Okay, never mind.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Why don't you be John today, okay? Thank you, John. Right? It's your neighbour's. I'm clearly on your neighbour's problem, that it's your neighbour's problem, and I would be suggesting that they talk to their insurance company because I'm sure it will be covered by their household insurance.
Okay.
I've actually spoken to their insurers.
Yes?
And they're not going to pay. They've said it's an Act of God thing and I'd have to stick in a claim myself. I said it's uneconomic. So they've taken the Act of God approach.
Have they taken their tree back? Or is that just your problem still?
No. The tree was on their side, but as a result of it falling, it actually damaged the fence. There's no garbage on my side of it. It's all been cleaned up by their insurers.
So we're just really worried about the cost of fixing the fence.
Well, yes.
And where we're at is that the cost of fixing the fence is less than the excess on your house insurance policy.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Taking them on is going to cost you a lot more money than the excess on your house insurance policy.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that bit.
Taking them on, that is taking them to court, forcing them to react, is going to cost you a great deal more than the excess on your insurance policy.
So it might not be worth your while, John. I think that's David's point. I'll get to more queries with David Whiting in just a moment.
Trevor Chappell.
When you think of fishing on a lake in a tinny, does your mind naturally wander to Rhonda Birchmore?
I would love to have my own fishing show, and I've got the title. It's going to be A Fish Called Rhonda, a chat show with my favourite people fishing.
ABC TV, if you're listening.
I could be in all my glamorous things, singing a few sea shanties, maybe a tap dance on there, I don't know.
I think it's great.
Afternoons with Trevor Chappell.
On ABC Radio Melbourne and the ABC Listen app.
Raph Epstein on ABC Radio Melbourne.
David Whiting is with us. We've done a few instances, or we had a few instances of dogs biting dogs, and I think Genevieve's the other side of an issue we had a few weeks ago. You're in Brunswick West. What happened, Genevieve?
Hello?
Hi there, you're on, Genevieve. Take it off speaker if you can, because you can talk to David now.
Okay. David, my dog was bitten in Brunswick West recently. The other dog got his nose under the gate and snipped his front right paw. I believe the owner of that dog or a friend of theirs may have called you a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. Her name was Jill.
Yeah, okay. Since that incident has happened, I've left correspondence for them and I've tried to talk to her, and she has been ignoring my approaches.
Genevieve, what I told Jill last week or 2 weeks ago was that every dog's entitled to its first bite, right? But I need to distinguish between, and the question really is, will a sanction be taken against the dog as a consequence of a single bite of another animal? The answer is probably no, but not definitely no. That's different from the responsibility of the owner, right? Mm-hmm. Now, my view is that, did your dog put its snout inside the neighbour's property? Is that where you're putting it?
No.
Okay.
The other owner's dog got their snout outside of their property.
Yep. Then my view is that the owner of the dog that was reported to us 2 weeks ago is responsible for the consequences of the action of her dog.
Yeah.
So
yes. What I've been asked, what I'm seeking is an apology and a contribution to the vet bill.
Yes.
And she won't speak to me.
I understand that. I'm saying that if that's all you're looking for and it was my dog, then I would be giving you the apology and the contribution. But whether it is economically or worth your while to force the process, I don't know.
I think we'll leave that there because we've had one side of the story. That's the other side of the story. Good luck, Genevieve. We've had I won't say a rash of those incidents, but we've had a number of those considerations about dogs and properties. George is in Kerrang. George, what's your query?
Oh, good day, David. This is the eternal pub question. If someone is convicted of a drink driving offence, for instance, does that affect their boat licence? And on the other side, if convicted of an alcohol, in control of a horse or a scooter or whatever, an unregistered vehicle, does that affect the car licence?
I'll deal with my understanding of the law is that if you lose your car licence, you lose all of the licence that you have which are issued under the Road Safety Act and the regulations.
Does that include the boat one?
No, but the boats are not issued under the boat.
Right, okay.
So in terms of whether you lose your boat licence or not, I will check. If you are convicted of a scooter offence or I'm not sure, you don't actually need a licence to ride a horse, George, but,
No, that's right. Yeah, well, that's why I'm wondering whether that's...
So drunk in charge of a horse would not cause you to lose your...
But drunk in charge of a scooter, you lose your licence, driver's licence.
No, we're talking about... the scooters, are we talking about a registered scooter?
Like the electric scooter on the footpath, on the bike path.
We're talking about, let's say, an elderly person's scooter.
Okay, a mobility scooter. All right. Are you worried about your Christmas parties coming up, are you, George?
No, this is a constant subject of argument in the hotel.
Okay, all right.
The mobility scooter. So you're saying if the police get you because you do something wrong on the mobility scooter, your query is if you then lose your driver's licence?
No, well, I'd turn it around the other way. Here I am. I lose my driver's licence for 0.05. Can I substitute a mobility scooter? All right?
Yeah.
George, just can you? I will give you the news you need next week.
Yeah, we'll do some homework. Okay,
right.
It's
glorious question,
and we'll come and share the answer with you in the pub. This text, Raf, don't we have a fundamental problem with the law when we were advised to not do the right thing because it will cost you more than accepting a wrong? That's from Al in Docklands. Is it a fundamental problem, David? We're advised to not do the right thing because it'll cost you more than accepting the wrong? That was around the fence thing.
No,
and some of the other
my view is that in a society there's got to be an element of give and take. And in the same, for those reasons, I mean, when I started in the law umpteen years ago, we used to do a lot of soft tissue injuries arising out of motor car accidents because the insurer would give you going away money. Just go away, here's $5,000. And so they changed the law to come along and say, well, you've got to wear the first 10% of the injuries that you've sustained, and we'll give you compensation, but if it's long term. But other than that, the first 5 days, and we won't even pay out TAC for minor claims. Right? So that's part of the inbuilt resilience in the system that we expect of you. We get my view. Look, if you really want to pursue something to the nth degree, then it's going to cost you. And I come along and say, look, there's a bit of rough and tumble. What about the people you don't when you've got no one else to sue? Who do you want to have a go at then?
Final question maybe from Norma in Ringwood. What's your query, Norma?
Hi. By the way, David, you're a piece of priceless furniture. Just want to let you know.
Priceless furniture. That's what I missed. Indeed.
Okay. My mother has a special gift provision in her will. We just want to know how to remove that rather than doing the whole will again.
You do it with the codicil. This is the first codicil to Norma's mother's will made such and such. Whereas I gave that priceless piece of furniture to Fred, I now revoke the gift, and in other words, I confirm my will. If you want to see what a codicil looks like, you can get a kit from the newsagent, or you can look at vallawhandbook.net.au and you can download one.
Great, that's what I will do. Thank you very much, David.
Do we not want to give that gift anymore? Has the person died? What's the deal?
No, it's just because
you've sold the Mercedes. No?
No, not that. It's just that this was put into the will when there was one grandchild, and now there's 6. So
okay, all right, understood entirely. Yep. Thank you, Norma.
A priceless bit of furniture. He is priceless. He'll be back. David Whiting, thank you very much.
Thanks, Rad.
And you've got your drunken scooter. So, by the way, mobility scooter, electric scooter, and I will add to that. What if you get done drink driving on your push bike? Do you lose your driver's license? Because my assumption would be you do.
I was going to go and try and deal with all of them, Ralph. Let's be comprehensive.
Let's do that. Thank you very much.